You didn't think you were making a big mistake. You thought you were fixing a small one. You took something you weren't supposed to and told yourself you'd make it right later, and then kept going because stopping felt worse. And that's how this starts. Not with betrayal, but with survival. In Cyberpunk 2077, Paco was a low-level runner in Dogtown. He works under Bargus. Not for Babs. See, Babs is just the one who knows where the exits are. And Paco didn't steal because he was greedy. He stole because he was already in trouble. He skimmed generators off a convoy, not to get rich, but to keep his head above water and to quiet the pressure. He did it to buy time. And that's the first lie that people tell themselves. I'm not breaking the system. I'm just borrowing from it. And that's the moment this stops being about a bad decision and it becomes a pattern. Because here's the part you recognize. You didn't wake up planning to make things worse. You just postponed the consequences. You told yourself you'd fix it later. You said you'd fix it when things calmed down, when you had margin again, and when you weren't under so much pressure. And for a while it worked. Because nothing explodes at first. The system does not scream. No alarms go off. And you're still standing. So you keep going. And Paco keeps working. He keeps showing up. He keeps pretending the hole isn't getting deeper. And Bab stays with him. And it's not because she agrees with what he did, but because leaving feels worse. She knows something's wrong, and she knows that he crossed the line. But walking away would mean admitting the truth out loud. So she helps him manage it instead. She doesn't say this ends now. She says, let's just get through this part. And that's the second lie. 'Cause staying is the same as helping. And here's where the pressure tightens. The system doesn't care why Paco stole, and it doesn't care that he panicked. It does not care that he meant to fix it either. All the system sees is leverage. So now Paco isn't just someone who made a mistake. He's someone who can be squeezed. He has to keep saying yes, keep running errands. He has to keep taking risks. Because if he stops, everything collapses at once. Because see, you didn't lose freedom in one decision. You lost it slowly. You lost it by staying useful, whether it's at work or in a relationship or even a family role. You crossed one line because it felt survivable, and then you crossed another line because going back felt impossible. And it's not because you're weak, but because stopping would expose everything you've been holding together. And Babs feels this too. She's not trapped because she's powerless. She's trapped because she knows too much. And if Paco falls, then she falls with him. And if she leaves, she carries the guilt. So she chooses the illusion of control. She says, if I help manage this, maybe it won't get worse. But see, systems don't reward loyalty. They reward compliance. The moment Paco became useful because he was compromised, the system stopped letting him go. Because you thought surviving meant enduring. But enduring is what taught the system it could keep taking from you. And that's the real cost. Not punishment, not violence, but erosion. And Paco keeps digging. And Babs keeps standing next to him. And the hole keeps getting deeper because neither of them can afford to look straight down. And eventually the system makes its move. Not loudly, not dramatically either, just efficiently. And suddenly, all the choices are gone. And it's not because they waited too long to leave, but because they stayed long enough to become replaceable. And this is where people get confused. They say, why didn't they just walk away? But you already know the answer. Because walking away costs everything at once, and staying lets you pay in pieces. And most people choose pieces because you've done this. You stayed in a job that hollowed you out because quitting felt irresponsible. You stayed in a relationship that drained you because leaving felt cruel. You stayed quiet when you should have drawn a line because silence felt safer than confrontation. And it's not because you believed it was right, but because you believed it was survivable. See, Paco and Babs aren't villains, and they're not stupid. They're just people who mistook endurance for control. And by the time they realized the difference, the system already owned the leverage.